So the governor has called for a special session to take actions that would strengthen California's application for Race to the Top for this $4.3 billion fund. So what do you think the legislature should do? And if not the legislature, is there anything the state board can do to make California more competitive in applying?
So there's a punch list, if you will, of things that that the administration and the superintendent believe need to be accomplished to make California not only eligible but competitive. And part of that burden is in the hands of the legislature, and part of that burden is in the hands of the state board, and still others of it are administrative changes that we need to make. I think that the legislature has an important responsibility in actually helping the governor lead the way, and the governor has set out a clear charge that we will not only be eligible, but we will be competitive, and we will be successful. And I think that if we are all aligned behind that basic impulse, everyone will do the right thing.
Is there anything specific, for example, with regard to low-performing schools or authorization that the legislature could do that would not only be useful for the application, but be good for California's school children?
Right. So that's the right question, and that's the right question that we all have to ask. The goal, after all, is not simply to win the Race to the Top competition, but it's to use these resources to do what's right for California's kids. Much in the press has been this question about a data firewall that may or may not prevent the use of teacher data and student data to help understand which teachers are more effective with which kinds of kids. I think that that's an area where the legislature needs to help us make a clear statement to the federal government. And that clear statement needs to be that we intend, in careful ways, to use student data as a part of how we evaluate teacher performance. And that's a place the legislature can act. In terms of underperforming schools, currently the legislation regarding the utilization of school improvement money pretty much just layers the money out across underperforming schools. And I think, and I'm now speaking sort of as an amateur policy wonk, I think that the legislature and the kids would be well served by allowing more discretion, and whether that's discretion in the superintendent's hands or in the governor's hands, I don't have an opinion. But I think that those funds could be used more effectively if they were better targeted at particular schools and not just layered out across the whole set of underperforming schools. So those are two examples, John, of ways I think that the legislature could take some action in this session that would be very helpful.
Right. Now, you are also chairman of the Governor's Advisory Committee on Excellence in Education, and your report is now, I guess, a year and a half years old now. And so I was wondering, looking back, how does Race to the Top and the focus that Secretary Duncan wants to emphasize, how does that parallel or how to match up with your the recommendations of your committee?
I'm probably seeing it through a jaundiced set of glasses, but I see great congruence between the recommendations in Race to the Top and the recommendations in the Governor's Committee report. You'll recall, because you're one of the 5 people who read the report, you'll recall that we had an overall and heavy focus on the use of data. And so there I think that there's a good match. Teacher effectiveness and administrator effectiveness were centerpieces of our report. Again, match in the Race to the Top application. I think our focus on underperforming schools was not as sophisticated as Race to the Top, and I think that they've done a very good job of taking those ideas and driving them forward. I think that the place where the Governor's Committee report made some recommendations that are alive in the legislature is in basic school finance reform, and in moving from the system of categorical programs that we have today to a broader student-based funding system that provided fungible dollars to school districts that were actually weighted by the needs of students. Poor students receiving more income, middle-class students slightly on par, and then English learners and special ed kids more money in addition to that. So that's the piece that I think is different. And it'll be interesting to see if that kind of finance reform discussion becomes a part of what we talk about in California.
Well, Ted, thanks very much for talking today, and we will look forward to seeing what the State Board and how California fares, whether or not it gets money, whether this leads to other reforms. So thank you very much.
Thank you, John.
I'm John Fensterwald for Educated Guess. Thanks for watching.